Let's get into it. Well, before that, spoiler warning. I don't think I'll talk about every chapter in this, but just in case, play up to chapter. Let's get into it. Well, before that, spoiler warning. I- Let's get into it. Well, before that, spoiler warning. I don't think I'll talk about every chapter in this, but just in case, play up to chapter 5. I mean, if you're watching this video on some super niche part of the web, I mean, I feel like you had to already played the game, but just in case. Okay. Now, this is my patent pending memory darkner theory. Now, let's get into it. Disclaimer, this is obviously a theory, not a fact. Take everything I say with the tiniest little grain of salt you can. None of this is going to be confirmed unless it is. Anyways, what am I even talking about? What does this theory even mean? Well, what if memories could become, or at the very least, influence darkness? Now, why do I have this theory? What made me think of this just genius idea? Well, let me get into it. Sorry. Electricity. Why does Spamton exist? Why does anyone in Cyberworld exist? Queen makes sense. She's a laptop. The chords make sense, you know. But why does Spamton exist? Why does Task Manager, Viro Kun, I think that's the name, and Trashy exist? None of these things are real. They're not physical things. Unless, technically, they are part of the code of their computers, right? And the code is essentially just a bunch of electricity being transported around in ones and zeros and blah, 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 right? Which, if this is the case, would make them physical things. Because, you know, electricity is a physical thing. And if that is true, then memories can be darkners. Because memories are simply neurons giving electrical signals to each other. So it isn't too out of the question to assume that, just like computer programs and code, they can be darkeners. I know. Crazy. Now, of course, I got evidence, obviously. Now, some of this is a bit reaching and can definitely mean a bunch of different things. But this is how I personally interpreted it. If you want to interpret it a different way, then go right ahead. We'll start off strong with the GOAT, Gerson. Now, my theory as to why Gerson can only exist in specific darknesses is because bringing a Lightner into the dark world that's dead is a bit complicated. Because you obviously need a part of their body, right? In this case, it's dust. And, you know, if you like Azrael dust area, you know. But anyways, but you also need the memories of that person. We see this when Susie tries to make the Dark World to bring Gerson back. It's a fake Gerson. It's a clone, not real. I believe that this is because Susie does not have enough memories with Gerson, or strong enough memories, to make him. You have to have those memories. Because we know that Darkners are 100% influenced by memories. For example, Tenem. Any of the Darkners, for that matter, they know things that happen in the light world that they didn't have consciousness for. Like Tenna remembers the dreamers and holidays, staying over for the holidays, but he wasn't alive. Or maybe he was, we don't actually know technically, but we'll see. Anyways. 2. Susie Darkworld has just a lot of things that could be memory based, right? For example, we got right here. Spellings were different back then and better. Now, this is referring to the first Dark World, where we had this book guy, right? I forget his name. But the point of this is that what if the reason that spellings were different back then in the first Dark World is because now Susie made the Dark World, and Susie is notorious for not really going to school and shit, so she doesn't have good writing. A stronger example of this is, do you know anything about hyperlink blocks? Now, this struck me as very, very odd, because they explain that it feels like they haven't heard of it, and they don't know why. But this would make sense if the memory of Susie affects the Darkners, because they may know hyperlink blocked because Chris was there. But since Susie is the main perpetrator of the Dark World, they wouldn't actually know about hyperlink blocked. Like its actual significance. And also, these guys just appear and they're like the philosophers. And I'm thinking it's because Susie thinks like church people are all like philosophers. That's a bit of a stretch, but well, this theory kind of just is. Now, this prophecy thing, a lot of people take the gallery as a soundtrack, which it probably is. To be honest, this part is a bit of a stretch. But I'm thinking that what if this has to do with something about a memory, like a memory gallery? I mean, the illustration right here is this person having their head sliced off, which could represent memory. Although again, it does make sense. I don't know how it connects with Queen and King, assuming this is something about memory, which these two are the gallery people. Number 4. These are only memories that appear in Susie's Dark Worlds. And by memories, I mean enemies. These are the only ones. The only fightable characters. Now, this is obviously the pen, you can see right here. Now, the reason that it's here is because it's the pen that she wrote Gerson's letter with. Then we got this, the pianos, the instruments in the church. And again, she thinks all churchgoers are like philosophers. To be honest, I don't know what this is. I probably just missed something, but I don't know why there's a bell. And then Gerson's, I kind of already explained it, pretty obvious, is Susie trying to. That was the whole point she made the Dark World, so the points. Now we're going to go into a bit of a conspiracy theory. I mean, this is already a conspiracy theory, essentially. But this one is a huge, gigantic stretch. Like, to the point where it's honestly a joke. But I thought of it and I was like, dude, this would be so funny. So funny if this was actually the case. So, yeah. Water holds memory, according to MapApp. Now, I was thinking, how does this have to do with anything? So what if memories affect the dark? So we kind of already knew that. But the point is that what if the dark fountains are memories? I know, this is stupid, but let me just get through. So this guy right here, he did an experiment where essentially he took some water, right, cups of water, and put it in front of positive things like posters that said "I love you" and "you're hot" or something, and negative posters like "Birdly sucks" and something else negative. And as you can see here, Snowflake, cool. Thank you. You disgust me. And love and gratitude. Look, they're different. The disgust me one's good. The point is that essentially it perpetrates the idea that water has memory. That water knows. Water knows. And what is water socially? What is water usually associated with? Mountains. This has been a connection since like day one, chapter one. Oh, shout out to Matt Penn for making me. Anyways, let's get back on track. Should I say the track's ending? Because I don't really know. I don't have the same knowledge that a bunch of these like super chronically online nerds do. No offense. But I'm more of a laid back Deltarune fan, so I don't know too much about the lore. So that's where, you guys can come in. This is kind of a framework more than a theory, to be honest. This is just me posting about the idea of this. I don't have too much evidence, as you could tell. And to be honest, I don't know where it would go with the themes. There's probably a bunch of connections I'm missing. And if you guys can figure it out, it'd be great. You don't have to credit me. Fuck me. I don't really. Again, this is just a framework. More could come from this. More doesn't. Whatever. Thank you for watching. I just did this for fun. I don't expect this to go anywhere. But if it does, regardless, thank you. I appreciate it.